Okay, so in today's class we are going to talk about some common conditional functions that you can use to analyze your data or to pick trends in your data. Right, so the first one that we talk about is sum if. So sum if gives you the value in the middle of a data set, and it lets you sum in one range based on a specific criteria. So basically sum if will let you sum your data based on a criteria. So in this example we have a list of fruits and their sales amount. So in the records you can see that Apple had a sale of 50, then 20 and 150, and we want to find the sum of all Apple sales in our records. So imagine you have records of about 1,000 rows, and you have more than 20 or 50 or 100 appearance or sales for Apple, and you want to sum all of them together. You can't go through the data one after the other to pick the values for Apple and sum. So you can use a conditional format called sum if to do that. So sum if will only sum records for you based on a criteria. So this is also another table or another cell that contains. So what this cell is, or what this cell means, is that we want to find the sum of Apple, and we created a list of all the fruits. So the first one is apple, we have orange, then we have bananas, lemon, and so on. So we want to find the sum of Apple, the sum of the various sales of Apple. So to do that, you click here, type equal to, then the sum if function, right, then into brackets. Excel will suggest this for you. So first of all, you need to select the range that you want to look through for the fruit apple. Then the second option is the criteria. So the criteria simply means what do you want to look for in the range. Then the last parameter is the sum. When the range and the criteria is found, sum the amounts that corresponds to the criteria. So the range will be here. So look into this list and pick out the fruit apples. Then you bring comma. Then the criteria is apple, so you click in this cell, that is look for this word or this fruit from the range that we've selected. You bring comma again, then now you select the range that you want to look for the value of apple and sum. So this becomes the range that you look for the value from. You close your brackets, then you press enter. Very simple. So by this, Excel is telling, or the sum if function in Excel is telling us that throughout our records we made a sale of 220 for apples. So when you drop down the list and choose a different fruit, so oranges made 60 sales in total, then lemons made 80 sales, oranges made 60, bananas made 180, and so on. So sum if function comes in handy if you want to calculate based on a criteria, right? And the next thing that we want to talk about is the count if. So count if also counts the values based on a criteria or a range. So we want to count the number of times lemons was sold in our records. Right, so to do that, you come here, type equal to, then count if into brackets. So count if also requires the range and the criteria. So this is the range. You select the range, comma, then the criteria is the parameter that you are providing. Right, then you just type enter. So lemons appeared twice in our sales, or we sold lemons 2 times. Let's look out for apples. Apples was sold 3 times, so we have 1 apple here, 1 2 3. Very simple. So once you create a list of fruits, when you choose the specific fruit, automatically the count of its sale is pulled out. Right, then lastly, we want to calculate the average sales of each of the sales based on the criteria. So to do that, you type equal to average if, select average if, then your range. So in choosing the average if, it's almost similar like the sum if function. So you select your range followed by the criteria. So in our case, the criteria is the fruit. Then you bring your comma again, then you select the value range or the sales amount range, then you close your bracket and press on enter. So by this, the average sales for oranges is 20. So orange made a sale of 20 here, then another 20 here, then 20 here as well. So if you add all these, you get 60, and 60 divided by 3, or it occurred 3 times, so 60 divided by 3 will give you 20. Let me change this value. You see that automatically the average if, or the average sales of orange is updated. So when you drop down and choose other fruits, you get the average sales for them as well. Right, so this brings us to the end of conditional formatting with Excel. There are a lot of conditional formatting that you can apply to your records, but once you understand the basic ones, you can apply it to the other ones. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next class.